Yo, still build. What's the biz here, man? I got off work pretty early. I'm heading to the cribbage, man, to kick my feet up. A peak game, though, man. We got to get into some more shit, man. We got to rap about this boot situation, man. I'm hearing, they're really pushing for boots and bud on Black Prime. I don't know how accurate that is. There's a lot of shit that gets circulated on the boxing, on, you know, just the rumor mill within, you know, boxing circles or whatever, man. But my thing is this: how in the fuck are y'all trying to push Boots on Bud when Boots isn't even ranked he isn't ranked as high in the WBO as he is in the IBF? Like, why is it all these obstacles that, you know, just anything to any sort of blowback Bud can get to show him in a certain light? That's the route that nigga's gonna take shamelessly too, bro. Shamelessly too. Why is it that Bud has to go through? Why does Bud have to fight Boots? Which and mind you, he's the only. I think he's besides someone like Blair Cobbs, who's just, you know, who really does a lot of clout chasing. I think if Boots was like, all right, cool, let's get that work in, I think he'd take that fade. But for the most part, he's a dude who's kind of like, be extra out, you dig? Like, nah, bro, you ain't, nah. But Bud is the only welterweight of worth that is called out. I'll fight Boots. He's like, yeah, he's a great fighter. I'd fight him. He's the only one who has even mentioned that man's name. Spence is on the same side of the street, the Showtime side of the street, and he ain't said shit about Boots fighting him, entertaining that fight. So why are y'all trying to push Boots off on the Bud? All these, oh man, he don't want that work. Boots hasn't even. He hasn't petitioned the fucking WBO to become mandatory or nothing like that. No, he took the IBF route, as he should. He pays his sanctioning fees to that particular body. All right, cool. And I'm right there now. I'm at the cusp of becoming a a champion, or at least gaining the experience of fighting for one. Why should I have to go elsewhere when this is the division? This is the sanctioning body that I'm ranked highest in. And because people are so, you know, they want Bud, they want to continue to set these mouse traps for Bud that he has to walk through, find a way to finagle through to get to, before he finally gets to Spence. That now all of a sudden Boots is a Bud problem, even though Boots is ranked higher in the fucking body, a sanctioning body of one of the belts that Spence has. It's like y'all are some of the most shameless niggas I've ever seen, bro. This is completely shameless. Y'all just don't give a fuck about logic. Y'all are completely void of logic. Y'all don't care. This shit is nasty, my nigga. Like, bro, for real. It just is what it is, man. I just can't take a lot of you niggas serious, bro, because that makes no sense. If the aging out process is what it is y'all are trying to do to this man, it's having a negative effect, because Spence is the one that's having a lot of he's the one injury prone. He's the one who got ejected from a car 2019, and I'm super overjoyed that he was able to recover from that. I was never favorable of dudes making jokes about that. That brother almost lost his life. You dig? That's a family man. I was never favorable of that. I wasn't, and I'm still not. I don't throw jokes about him, you know, his drinking habits and all that, because I don't think there's nothing funny about that. I got loved ones who's, you know, those type of situations, they're afflicted by those type of circumstances, man. So I don't find ways to poke fun at that shit and try. Nah, I'm not doing that shit. If he suffers from a drinking problem, he needs to definitely go and seek counseling to get that shit handled. But his drinking problems almost became, you know, it was almost a fatality for him because of it. So you get ejected out of a car, you spend the whole year recovering, got to get your veneers, your teeth and everything redone, just for you to go and fight finally get that Manny Pacquiao fade, and you got to pull out of that fight because you got a detached retina. Now you just so happen to get in another car crash, which allegedly it wasn't that bad. You hopped out, got on IG and did all that shit, but allegedly it's not that bad. And now you talking about your leg is injured, so you're gonna be out till the second quarter of next year. So if you're trying your best to age this dude out, it's having Bud hasn't pulled out of a fight, to my knowledge. He hasn't pulled out of a fight due to injury. He hasn't pulled out of a fight. You've had to pull out of a fight, one of the biggest fight of your career. The biggest fight of your career as far as, adding to your marquee value. That was, you and Manny would have been the biggest fight of your career. Because that would have put you over the top when you beat him. That would have put you over the top. Couldn't make that happen because you got injured. Now here we are. You got to chill until March and April because of a little minor car crash that you got in. Allegedly your leg is fucked up, man. It's just not going to work. And then when you get out of that injury, they talking about goddamn Keith Thurman. Like, man, what are we doing, bro? If you're trying to, you're gonna age out before him. You might fuck around and retire before him. So if it's an aging out process that you're looking to do, man, it's proven to be to your detriment. But it's just wicked to me how y'all can sit there and put fucking boots off on Bud as if he's not ranked higher in a belt, in a sanctioning body of a belt that Spence holds. Why is boots Bud's problem and not Spence's problem when he's ranked higher in the IBF? I ain't even hearing nobody say shit about Virgil Ortiz like that. And Virgil Ortiz, I don't even think he's went the WBO route as far as petitioning for his mandatory spot. I don't even think he's done that yet. It's a lot of cap. It's the knee-jerk reaction and the surface level knowledge as to what's going on. It's a lot more easier and comforting to just say, oh man, how come he ain't fighting Boots? How come he ain't fighting Ortiz? How come he ain't fighting so and so and so and so? All right. Are they petitioning those sanctioning bodies to get those fights? And I don't think they are. Sorry, not sorry. Don't get on camera not on camera, but don't get in these social media spaces and try to make Boots Bud's problem. Don't do that. That's dishonest as a mother. Like, y'all, it's shameless, bro. Just no shame. Y'all niggas could really just sit here and say, oh, he's Boots. But how come Bud ain't trying to fight Boots? Look at all the stumbling blocks that Bud will have to go through to possibly even get that. Look at all the stumbling blocks he had to go through to get Sean Porter. Now look at all the stumbling blocks he has to go through to get the fight that everybody has been wanting for the past 5 years. I don't think it will be as many stumbling blocks as a Jaron Ennis if he wanted that fight. I don't think it'd be that many stumbling blocks, but nonetheless, why do I have to go through all these obstacles to get through in order to get the fight that I need to lament my legacy? Bud can say what he wants to say. He needs a Spence fight. He at least needs to fight him at the very least. If nothing else, get in the ring and fight that nigga. If nothing else. So, but the thing is, why am I being tripped up whenever we get we take 2 steps forward, 5 steps backwards. We make progress, we lose progress. Bud got 10 M's to fight David Avanesian. What do you think a Black Prime would do for somebody for a fight like Spence and Bud? That's possibly 20 M's a piece. And y'all niggas are so in y'all feelings about this nigga being, having access to that type of money, because that means at this point it's no excuse for us not to fight. We can't get no guarantee through Yall, so let's go get our guarantee on top of a pay-per-view upside. Let's do that. But that would be too easy. That means, all right, cool, now we can make the fight happen. There's no other smoke and mirrors that y'all can hide behind. There's no excuses. Let's go get that fade. Let's go get that work. So y'all don't want to do that. Now I started with Yall, I'm finishing with Yall. Even though Yall isn't going to be able to get you what it is that there's my nigga. Money to throw around for certain individuals, but you won't let nobody touch a fight. You won't let nobody touch the Spence and Bud fight. You won't let nobody else touch that fight. Even though you ain't got the funds to back it. It's asinine to me, man. I done got way off track, man. Bottom line, stop trying to put Boots off on Bud. Stop trying to put Boots off on Bud. That shit is corny. I see what niggas is doing, bro, and they really pushing that shit. Why isn't anybody asking Spence to fight Boots, and they're on the same side of the street, and he's a mandatory in that sanctioning body, in one of the sanctioned bodies of the belt that Spence holds? Why is nobody doing that? Nobody is banging on Spence for that. Nobody's like, man, Spence, why you ain't getting it? You rather see Spence fight motherfucking Keith Thurman and Boots? I wouldn't. Thurman is not deserving of the spot that he just so happens to hold. He's not deserving of that shit. I don't want to see Keith Thurman in there with Spence at this point in time. Let him get another tune up, and then we can see where he's at. Because at this point, I think he's gonna go in there and be a combo dummy. And I was a nigga who thought Thurman would beat Spence. I've always been of that mind state. Thurman's gonna beat Spence. I've always been of that mind state. But you know, I mean, he could stand just this, you know, the same chance to beat him in the now because of just how inactive that both of these dudes are. They're both proven to be injury prone. So maybe we get this. Maybe we can get maybe Thurman can pull an upset. Maybe he could. I wouldn't bet on it. I think he could at this point. Now that I'm thinking of, I think he could. I think he could pull an upset. Both injury prone. All right, cool. Y'all both had one fight this year. Y'all go right to another fight. All right, cool. But why aren't y'all giving, at this point in time, it's better to fight goddamn. Thurman and Boots are about at the same level as far as marquee value and marketability. Thurman has never been he's never been that nigga like that. He's never been him. You may as well just hop up in there with goddamn Jaron Ennis. You get far more out of beating somebody like Jaron Ennis than you would getting a beating Thurman. But y'all not slick trying to put this dude off on Bud. Y'all not slick. Y'all are not slick. Y'all talking about Bud is ducking him. Bud is the only welterweight that even mentioned that man's name. And even then, he is on Spence's side of the street. Even though he's not a PBC fighter, he's a Showtime fighter. That's a far easier fight to make. And he is a mandatory or a number one. He's ranked with number one in the IBF. That's a belt that Spence currently occupies. So why are y'all not clapping at him? Spence ain't even announced his fight date yet. He ain't announced his opponent. None of that shit. We think it's Keith Thurman. We think it is because of all the little fuck shit that didn't happen behind the scenes. But why can't it be? Why can't he fight Boots? Why do y'all want Bud to fight Boots but not Thurman, even though Boots is ranked number one in the IBF? Why does Bud have to go fight Boots? Why? Boots is not a Bud problem. He's a Spence problem because where he's ranked at in the IBF. Stop trying to be slick. So y'all, stop trying to create all these other obstacles and fly traps and mouse traps to put in front of Spence so Bud can't get to him and don't have access to him as easily as he should. As easily as Boots has access to him due to them fighting over there on the same side of the street. You niggas is shameless, man. You're not slick. I'm not going for it, man. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I would love to see Boots and Bud. I would love to, but what we not gonna do is sit here and hold Bud responsible to fighting Boots when he's not even ranked as high in the WBO as he is with the IBF. We not gonna do that. We not gonna make Boots a Bud problem when he's over there on the same side of the street as Spence and is highly ranked in a belt in a sanctioned body of a belt that Spence holds. Stop being slick. You niggas is not dastardly enough to no, you can't do it. I'm about to get in here and get on niggas' necks about that shit too. Oh, you finna duck Spence, run right into a brick wall. Says who? Why does he have to fight Boots? He doesn't have to. I'd love to see it, but he doesn't have to. Stop being slick. Stop that buster shit, man. Y'all niggas is not slick. Boots needs to fight Spence. Bud needs to fight Spence. Thurman does not need to fight Spence. So y'all bang on him for that. Do not allow that to happen if you niggas is real boxing fans, or you just, you know, Spence cock sockets. And if that's the case, then it's logical as to why y'all wouldn't care about that, man. I'm outie, man. Deuces.